Yo, how's your butt? Boop.
Yo guys, how's your butts? Today we're going to be jumping into another Warmind Cell video. I know you guys love these as much as I do. Today we're going to be talking about a different kind of mod, because we've moved on from solar mods. We're going to be talking about void mods now. So right now I'm going to show you ones I have on. Warmind's Longevity, Grasp of the Warmind, Cellular Suppression, and then I do have Global Reach on, as I always do, because it's non-elemental affiliated. It can go on anything that can take a Warmind Cell mod. And I still have Wrath of Rasputin on, because the Solar Splash damage to create Warmind Cells is just ridiculous, and you can use so many builds for it. You can get your abilities can make these Warmind Cells as well as non-Seraph weapons like the Xenophage. So I'm going to keep that on. For pretty much any Warmind Cell build, I'm going to have these two on. But we're going to talk about the Void mods now. So what are we going to look at for these Void mods? So you go to your General and Collections, and we're going to go to Void mods. So Grasp of the Warmind. This one is really useful for placing cells where you want them. And when we get into some of them where you're going to need to put them on to enemies or close to enemies for either suppression, weapon buffs or debuffs to the enemy. This is really good for just placing them. Now once you pick them up, you can only throw them once, so that is a really good one for replacing them to get around enemies. Next one is Power of Rasputin. You gain weapon damage to any of the enemies that are close to Warmind cells. And along with that is Warmind's Protection, where you can take reduced damage from enemies that are near Warmind cells. Cellular Suppression, probably a big one that I can see happening and helping in a World's First raid. Anytime you do damage to these Warmind cells, it suppresses enemies around them. You also deal less damage to these cells because you don't want to blow them up. So unlike all the solar mods, you want to keep these cells around as long as possible. And for that, you also have Warmind's Longevity, which keeps this cell around longer. So you can effectively just make a ton of cells, and you can just keep them around. And it's going to continually debuff or buff these enemies. Or, well, not the enemies. You don't want to... Why would you want to buff an enemy? It'll debuff these enemies. So see, you can see here, I do have Grasp of the Warmind on. So if I want to put this, say, on this night, I'm actually going to be getting a buff if I have that on. If I continually hit this, boom, you can see the Void Suppression go. That's the Cellular Suppression. You can see all these enemies are suppressed. They're not going to attack you. It's going to be like they're blinded in a smoke or they're tethered. You can see that cell lasts a lot longer than what it does normally. So let's create some more cells. There's another cell. You can pick this up, whatever binding you have, and you can stick on enemies. And I don't know if I have the weapon one on yet, but we will double check. But if I continue to shoot this, you can see that Void Suppression. These enemies, if they were actually enemies that could attack you, they would stop attacking you. So I just want to see, I just have suppression on, so I don't have, so if I take cellular suppression off, and we're going to put Power of Rasputin on, which is going to increase my weapon damage. So we're going to kill this guy, if I had any weapons to kill him with, right there. So he's close to that, you can see he's glowing a little bit, so all my weapons are going to do more damage. 15,977. 16,844. Now this, see if this does stack. 15,977. Does not stack. But just so you can see, these enemies are glowing that orange color. It means they're affected by these cells. So even if you just walk next to them, it can affect them, or you can stick it on them. It'll still affect the ones that are close to you. See, that takes a little bit longer to kill Ore Mine's longevity on, and you're still going to debuff these enemies. This can be really good for high level content. So a lot of these solar ones may not be great for high level content. They are going to kill a lot of enemies, and they can do damage over time for those enemies. But these can suppress these enemies that just take so long to kill. Or if there's so many you can't take care of them and you have to do something like a mechanic, you just want to suppress them and get them off your butt. That is a good one for that. So that is a brief introduction into Void mods. In the next coming videos, I will be getting into some builds that are going to be using these and activities you can use them in. Like I said, this isn't going to be focusing too much on the weapons that are used for them or the abilities that are used for them, because that's what the solar builds are going to be for. Solar builds are going to be for creating those Ore Mine cells, and these Void mods are going to be what's used to actually get the best benefit out of them, especially in high level content. Well, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. I'm super close to 200 subscribers, and I'd love to have you as one of them. You guys have a nice butt.